back in junior high school days up until now. Victor Brick is one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. That's number one. A heck of an athlete, number two. He was our guard, number three, and he even tried to play baseball and was a darn good baseball player. So I'm saying those things to just say that he is a fantastic athlete. But on the flip side of that, Victor, and you guys Google him, but Victor is an entrepreneur. Victor has a bunch of Planet Fitnesses around. He is the guy that's behind that business. But one of the things that's, I think, one of the greatest things that he's done here at Springbrook High School is put a Planet Fitness in this school. And it's in the name of his brother, as he honored his brother, John W. Brick Fitness Center, which is located just on the other side of the gym. That was put in here by Victor Brick. That's the kind of guy he is. As I close on that, let me just say that Victor is going to give you guys some words of wisdom. He's going to lift you up. Listen to what he has to say, because not only is he a great athlete, a great person, a great entrepreneur, but he is a guy that will give you encouragement. He will counsel you if you need it, and he will help you if you need help. And those qualities are few and far between in somebody who has reached the heights that this young man has reached. So let me introduce to you all a future, I think, Hall of Famer here at Springbrook High School, and my brother in Christ, Victor Brick.
Okay, so let's go with that baseball story. So, I'm the best player in the local league, and they moved me up to the Montgomery County League, man, and I'm the catcher. I'm a pretty good catcher. I get up, I'm at Hillendale Elementary. You guys ever play baseball at Hillendale Elementary? I get up, first time at bat, and I look up on the mound, and who do I see but the tallest dude I had ever seen, tallest guy, hat off to the side, like this, looking right down at me, and it's that dude right there. He was 6'1", I'm like 5'2". I'm thinking, I'm shaking. The first pitch, he said it was an accident, but I know he knew what he was doing, heading right for my head. High fastball. I drop down the ball. I get up, the next two pitches I swung at, one bounced on the ground. I swung at, the guy goes 3 strikes, you're out. I said, thank you. That was it. That was the end of my baseball career. Ever since something comes in close to my chest, I'm on the ground. Just ask my wife, she throws underneath, I'm on the ground. So anyway, we were talking a little bit about parents support. I know all about parent support. My mother was a teacher here, Senora Brick. Did you guys have Senora Brick? You know nothing about Spanish, and you had my mother? Shame on you. So anyway, back then, I don't know what it's like now, but back then, you could not leave the campus during the school day. You got suspended. Well, you know, I kind of took some liberties with my mom being a teacher, so when I stole one of her pet, and don't tell my mother, because, anyway, she's passed, and God bless her, please don't tell anybody else in my family. I stole one of her pads from her briefcase. Hall passes. So I go in to get my high school girlfriend, Stephanie Rogers, out of class with the pad. And I'm going to be the big shot senior basketball player taking her to runs, right? We walked down the hall here. Somebody told me they saw Victor Brick and his girlfriend leave the camp. I come back. They suspend me. Opening game, Northwestern High, my senior year. They suspend me. Here's the rule. You are suspended until your mother comes in or father comes in for a parent-teacher conference. Mom, can you meet with Dr. Marshall today before the opening game? And she comes in, Dr. Marshall gives the lecture. Yes, sir, we'll make sure. And I started that game. Had a help game too, by the way. So I know a little bit something about parental support, and I got retired from that dude right there in baseball. So, with that, my name is Victor Brick. And I am the CEO of Planet Fitness Growth Partners. I own 90 health clubs across the country, 10 in Australia, with my wife Lynn, including Planet Fitness in Silver Spring and in White Oak. I'm also the CEO and the founder of the John W. Brook Mental Health Foundation. I'm on the board of advisors with Johns Hopkins Hospital and Psychiatry Board, and I am the founder and the executive director of the John W. Brick Mental Health Foundation. But before all that, I was a Springbrook High School basketball player and the proud graduate of the class of 1971. Now, before running multiple businesses, I used to be this health club consultant. I used to travel around the world consulting to people about how to make their health club successful. I was a fake. I was a poser. I had this suit. I bought it for a twofer. You know what twofer is? 2 for 1. Me and Mark Johnson go to downtown Baltimore, $99. We buy these 2 suits. My collars would turn up like this. And I had an empty briefcase, and I'd literally go around the world telling people how to run their business. And all I was telling was stuff I read out of books. And I really started to feel disgusted about it, that I was faking. And I realized I wanted to stop doing that, go out and make something of myself, and then come back and tell people how to do it, help them. And I think after becoming the 15th largest health club owner in the United States, starting from 1, I can do that, don't you? Yeah. And that's why I'm here today. And I want to tell you how seriously I take this. I flew on a red eye today. I got in at 5:30, slept all day, missed 2 meetings. Good thing is I called the meetings, and guess what? I'm the show, nobody's going to get it. And I got here because I take talking to you guys very seriously. You young men in the back that are making the noise, I take talking to you very seriously. You know why? Because I wish somebody had taken the time to talk to me when I was a high school knucklehead that bought more than the guy up in front that's a multimillionaire. That's the way why I'm here. Because everything I've learned about being successful, or many things, I learned right here at Springbrook. And I wanted to share those things with you. Not these people, you guys in the back, on your road to manhood. Because as successful as I am, I pissed away a lot of good years, and it's only by the grace of God that I got through. Because He had a plan for me. But sooner or later, I had to wake up, because this is how God works. Everybody keeps waiting for your ship to come in. Sometimes you've got to swim out and get it. And I can't tell you how much swimming I've done. This is all off script, but it's kind of a response to some actions I've seen back. And here's one of the things we tell all of our people. And I employed 1,200 people across the world. Someone's always watching. You think they're watching you because you're speaking, or you're the coach, or you're the teacher. Those guys are watching you. And I'll never forget, I was in this conference. All these wealthy people, successful people in Baltimore. I went to crappy little club. And this guy got up there and talked about quantum leap, how to make the leap to the next level. And he said, and I debated saying this, but I'm going to say it because I sense it. He said there's only 3 people, there's 100 people in the room. He said there are only 3 people in the room that are going to do what he said. Now this was 1978, people. And I looked around the room trying to identify the other 2. And that is no joke. So my advice to you is be one of the 3. Because it's only crowded at the bottom. Life is only crowded at the bottom. So, here you go. 10 things I learned about life playing basketball at Springbrook. The first thing is start with the end in mind. Every year at Springbrook, we knew what our goal was, win the state championship. We never did that, but we came pretty darn close. Within a basket with these guys, and I can tell you the play I'm ahead on a fast break. We're down 1. I'm ahead on the fast break, 30-some seconds to go. Minor Appleman, steady Minor, decides to throw a behind-the-back And in the time, BCC at Whitman, packed house 3,500, regional championship to go to the state tournament. In the time he threw that behind the back pass, isn't it funny how you can remember every detail of something that happened in 1970? By the time he threw that behind the back pass, here comes Jay Friedlander, and the pass hit him in the chest. Now, I got a foul Friedlander. He hits 2 foul shots, and we lose by 2 instead of winning by 2. But check this out. Just think if our goal had only been to win the county, or only to have a winning record. Where would we have been? It's all about the size of the dream, guys. It's all about the size of the dream. Dream big. Once you have that dream, apply the win philosophy. Do you know what the win philosophy is? What's important now? You want to be a good basketball player? Lift weights. Do your shooting drills. Do your ball handling drills. Go to the camps. What's important now? You want to be successful in life? Get your education. And whether that means training or formal, whatever it is, mentor, whatever it takes. What's important now? Because I will tell you, and I say this proudly, I'm 69 years old, going on 70. There was a time when that was the end of the line, or close to it. Most of you in here will live to be 110. I'm telling you, I'm in that space. I'm in fitness, I'm in health, I'm in longevity. You will live to be 110. You mark my words. The question is, what will you be when you get there? Both physically and also in terms of professionally, and will you run out of life in your years before you run out of years in your life? And here's my experience with goals. I always tell everybody, constantly move in the direction of your dreams. Because this is what happened. This is what happened with Lynn and I. She's this nurse, I'm this recreation director. We're struggling to make it, but we fall in love with this thing called fitness. So she starts teaching classes, I start teaching classes. There's a video of us online. There was a time when only 2 people in the world had seen that video, and anyone else, if you saw it, we killed you. Should be so. Somehow it gets on YouTube. Look it up, Lynn Victor Bricks aerobic competition. I gotta say, I look pretty good with the short shorts. But anyway, we're playing along with this thing, and all of a sudden my wife goes and gets pregnant. What the heck? I mean, you're teaching 20 classes a week. What are you going to get pregnant for? How can I say it? We can't afford another instructor. So we get to that fork in the road. What did Yogi Berra say about a fork in the road? You come to a fork in the road, take it. So which way are we going to go? We can go back to nurse and recreation director and get played safe and give up on our dream? Or are we going to risk everything like Reverend Kidman says, on one turn of pitch and toss? That's one roll of the dice. Well, guess what? I borrowed money from my parents, rolled the pitch and dice of the dice 90 clubs ago. And here's what happens, guys. The longer you stay this way, away from your dream, what happens? Notice I'm going in an angle. The far away you get from your dream. And now you were over here working for somebody, you got a nice pension, a good return. How can you possibly leave this to start a new career, whether it be in nursing or whether it be in medicine or your own? But how can you take that chance? The farther you go one road, you go another. And Yogi Berra, people think he's a clown when you take a fork in the road, when you come to a fork in the road, take it. Guess what? You take a fork in the road by not taking the other one. And you will go down that path to the point where you'll look back and say, wow, I didn't realize what I did. And here's something I learned from Jim Harbaugh, and I'm good friends with all these guys, and I'm just, pop off what these guys said. After he won the Super Bowl, I heard him speak, and what he said was, the days are long, but the years are short. Yeah. It was the other day, I was sitting over there, I was telling these guys, I got in a fight with Gary Katz, and he was throwing food at this kid, because he was a bully, and he made the mistake of hitting me in the back of the ear. So I got up, I walked over to him, and picked up his plate, tray, and threw it in his lap, and next thing you know, boom, boom, boom. But I remember it like yesterday. I remember it like it was 52 years ago. The days are long, but the years are short. And before you know it, your life will flash by you. And the question you will have to answer to yourself and to God is, what did I do? So start with the end in mind. The next thing is 10,000 hours. I don't know what it is now, but all we ever wanted to be growing up was all met. Everyone wanted to be all met. Well, guess what? I know one guy in this room that is all met, and another guy that should have been, but because he was a county guy, they didn't make him, even though he took a picture. And that's Eddie and Tommy. So, I'm at the Metropolitan Area Basketball Camp run by Morgan Wood, the legendary coach of DeMatha. They put on a shoot at Springbrook, so they bring this kid from Springbrook, and Peterson hits every shot from all corners of the gym. It's at St. John's High School down on Military Road. You guys all probably know it. And after Eddie hit everything, Morgan, little old Morgan comes out. He goes, he's looking at all us campers. I'm in the crowd. He goes, you want to be all met in the city of Washington, D.C.? It's easy. And he points at Eddie. All it takes is 10,000 hours. And we all go, yes! And we ran down and started doing all the ball drills and thinking. But for most of us, that energy ran out. Eddie was out in the hall telling me, I said, do you got any memories of this place, Eddie? You know what he said? Not really. I never ate lunch here because I was always down in the gym shooting with Greg. His brother Greg would come over and feed him while he was shooting, and I was getting in fights with Gary Katz. That's what he's all met, and I'm all whatever. 10,000 hours. The third thing is seek out the best competition. When we were here at the Brook, we'd go down to the Armory. We'd go to Cole. We'd go to Candy Cane City. We'd always be seeking the best competition. And we got better. You never get better not hanging around people better, not just as good, better than you. So I get into the health club business. I'm this big shot with the 2 for suit briefcase, and I decided to get into this round table with all these guys from around the world. And we had some fun. I could tell you stories till the cows come home. We used to meet every 4 months in the country, home country of one of these guys. New Zealand, Australia, Netherlands, Canada, Brazil. When we started, I had one club. The guy that had the most in the room, Patch from Canada, had 22. Today, I proudly have 90 clubs. Renee has 1,000. Edgar has 1,000. And Patch has 650. I am never the leader of the pack. We go around the room every 4 months. We get together and we say, okay, what have you guys done lately? I'm really proud. I just opened 5 clubs. Edgar from Brazil. I just opened 127 clubs. Renee from Holland. We bought 200 clubs and we will open 300 more by the end of the year. I said, Victor, what did you do? No, that's all right. I'll pass. I'm not kidding you. Here's the deal, guys. If you think you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room. You ever think you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room. Number 4 is, it's all about the journey, not the destination. When I was here at the Brook, I always thought it was about winning. I used to sometimes cry after losing. Guys, there's only one high school in every class that wins the state championship every year. And that's true for every state in the country. Are all the rest losers? No. It's about the destination, the journey. It's about the relationships. It's about the memories. And you can tell by what I've whipped off in the last couple of minutes and by the love I share with these 2 guys that I have memories and relationships that will last forever. And I hope you do too. And I hope that's not just true with basketball. I'm talking about everything I'm talking about here. I'm talking about life. Number 5 is make people better. I was a point guard. You're looking at the 2 power forward, shooting forward. Guess who got the ball? What was my job? What was my job? John Wooden, the great coach at UCLA, you know what he told me my job was? Make everyone better. And I proudly made one guy all met and another guy that should have been. Leading rebounder and also having 12 over 20 a game because I knew my role. But every now and then when I had to, I would stick it. I just make people, that's your job. All of your jobs. Make your kids better, your friends better, your teammates better, your employees better. You don't only want to make them better, you want to make them feel better. Because ultimately they'll do better when they feel better. And I will tell you, the greatest thing that can be said of you, and I've been married 43 years, and I'm telling you, it's 3 of the best years of my life. And then I tell you that, I've got a great relationship with, with my wife and her family, and that behind every successful man stands a surprise mother-in-law. But anyway, the best thing that can be said of you, even a husband and a wife, is, I like me best when I'm with you. You want people to feel better when they're with you, not just play them. So always make people better. So number 6 is you got to get that fire in your belly. That 10,000 hours wasn't work for us. It was the love of the game. Now, maybe we didn't love everything. We didn't love the wind sprints. We didn't love the time that Barry, was in this defensive stance where he just lost a whip and he came up through the ball in the back of my head. Boom! Just to get my attention. But for the most part, we loved it. We love fitness. There are people that will say, your high school basketball years are going to be the best years of your life. Not true for me. I told my driver coming down here, today is the best day of my life, and tomorrow will be better. Do you know why? Because I love what I'm doing. I'm teaching and coaching my staff. I'm teaching and coaching you right now. I'm running a business that I love, and I'm helping people discover their greatness and changing people's lives. Find something you love doing, and you'll never have to work a day of your life. So number 7 is, who's counting? Is it takes a team to launch a dream. When a journalist asked John Wooden, does everybody know who John Wooden is? John Wooden was the greatest basketball coach of all time, won 10 NCAA championships at UCLA, 10, 8 in a row. And when they asked him who the best coaches he coached against, you know what he said? Why, the ones with the best players, of course. It's always about the players. Get the best players on your team. When we would go around town, if we didn't have a full squad, you're waiting for the down, and if you lose, you might be waiting another 2 hours. You'd always pick up the best guy from the team that lost, because you wanted the best players. Here's the frustrating thing. Sometimes we'd come in and we wouldn't have a full team, and we'd have one of those 2 guys with us. And the team that was getting on wouldn't have a full team, and they'd turn to one of these guys and say, would you play with us? Now, Tommy usually hung with us, but Eddie would do this. You see him laugh. This is Eddie. He'd go like this. He'd look at me, and he'd go, like, what should I do? Like, I'm going to tell him not to play with Adrian Dantley, Kermit Washington, James Brown, the sports guy. I'm going to tell him not to play with those guys. So then we'd come on, picking up some scrawny little guy, and they would kick our ass. Our guys. Because they're the best players. Always get the best players, because it takes a team to launch a dream. And now, that's true with your friends, by the way, because you need the best friends. Your friends will have more influence in your life than your family. And I will tell you this, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. You show me your friends. Those are my friends. Who are your friends? Show me your friends, and I'll tell you who you are. And hopefully your friends, you can say, I like me best when I'm with you. So, number 8, pride and discipline. We took great pride in Springbrook, and we still do. Coach Harmon always jokes that when I come down to Springbrook, anytime I come down to Springbrook, guess what I got on? I got my jersey on, because I am always. We played hard, and we played with pride, and we never quit. I took great pride in that. So I'm listening to Jack LaLanne. Who knows who Jack LaLanne is? Jack LaLanne was the first fitness personality in the country. He was on television. That boy, no joke, boy, that man could do 1,000 push-ups when he was 90. 1,000. So I'm at this conference, this fitness conference. He's already 80-something, and he's talking. He drops down on the stage. He does 200 push-ups. He would have kept going, but it would take him too long. He gets up, and he turns to the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, everything you do with pride and discipline. And then he walked off. And that's something that's really stuck with me. Everything I have done and tried to do, I try to do with pride and discipline. Number 9 is it's a game. I used to live, as I said, I used to live and die with the games at Springbrook, but now I know that they are just that, a game. Nothing in life is life and death, but life and death. So you got to keep things in perspective. You play hard, you play to win, but you really apply yourself where it counts the most. and you don't overreact to bad things and mild speed bumps in the road. Most things you should laugh about them now because you're going to be laughing about them 2 months from now anyway. So go ahead and laugh now. The only exception to that, the only thing that really matters is your health and the health of your loved ones. And remember I told you how I used to fake being a business consultant? I used to fake one of these motivational speeches because quite frankly, my life hadn't been touched by tragedy. And then I lost both my parents and my brother in the span of a year. My wife had a brain tumor. And all of a sudden, I could start relating. But that's nothing to what happened to us recently. You know why it was important? I live in Miami Beach. Can't you tell by the shirt? You think those guys out there wearing a shirt? Are you kidding me? You couldn't find a shirt in all Portland. No way. I live in Miami Beach. You know why I flew there this morning on a red eye? Because I was out there with my daughter, my wife, helping my daughter recover from her third ovarian cancer surgery. Now, don't despair because it's all good, and this was elective surgery to remove the final ovary to prevent the cancer from coming back. And I can tell you, the first three, when she was first notified she had cancer, the first 3 months, the toughest months of my life. And if you know anything about ovarian cancer, it's not a very good prognosis. And I'm telling you, every night, before I went to bed, I would say, Lord, if you have to take something, take me. But then we got our game together. We got our mojo back. We started thinking like a coach. We started thinking like a Springbrook athlete. What do you got to do now? What's important now? The thing that fills the gap between known and unknown is fear, if you let it. And fear was filling that gap. But we decided to not be the hammer, to be the hammer and not the nail. So we got the chemo. We had the surgery. We got a neurologist, so she's on a full supplement program. We changed her diet. We got an energy Reiki. We've got a hypnotherapist. We started Mistletoe Therapy. Anybody know what Mistletoe Therapy is? It's been found that mistletoe out in nature helps with a fungus on the trees. So they figure, well, it helps with disease on the trees, maybe it'll help the people, and it's proven to do that. So she gets mistletoe injections. My daughter has to give herself a shot 3 times a day in her belly. Very painful for me, much less for her. But we give her mistletoe therapy. We got the penguin cold cap. Anyone know what the penguin cold cap is? What's one of the bad side effects for women that undergo chemo? They lose their what? And my daughter's a good-looking young lady and wanted to keep her hair and wanted to not be a cancer victim. So we found this penguin cold cap. You freeze it on cold ice, you put it on the head, it freezes the scalp, and doesn't allow the chemo to get the scalp, and for the most part, she had her hair. And now, as soon as I leave here tomorrow, I'm going back to be with her. We'll be with her for the next 8 weeks. I'll get covered from the surgery, and we're determined for her to be able to live a long and prosperous life. And I will say, the anchor of all that, including from those 2 gentlemen, those 3 gentlemen, and this gentleman, is prayer. And we pray ceaselessly. And finally, never quit. When Winston Churchill was the Prime Minister of England, he was asked to speak at the prestigious Eton School, the most prestigious private school in all of London. And I have a feeling that some of you guys in the back had wished I'd have given the same speech Winston Churchill gave. Because when they introduced him and he stood up and addressed the crowd, he said, never give in, never give in, never, never, never give in, and sat down. Springbrook players never quit. We may lose, but we never quit. And here's something about quitting, because unfortunately I've done it a couple times. Do you know the hardest time to quit? The first time. After that, it gets easy. It gets real easy. And about the 5th time, it's so easy to quit, you can do it falling off a log. Do not quit. Springbrook players, do not quit. I'd like to close with one of my favorite poems that epitomizes the never quit attitude of Springbrook basketball players. I can't even remember. Wait a minute. Did I tell all of you guys I was giving you a 3-month membership at Planet Fitness? Did I say that? I forgot to say that. Maybe I would have gotten a better compliance here. You guys should be very proud of your season. JV, I think, was undefeated or won champion, one of the two. And the varsity, of course, even though you didn't finish where you would like, you came on at the end and you got better. And that's what life's all about, guys. Life is all about getting better. In Japanese, it's called Kaizen. Kaizen, constant, never-ending improvement. Just little steps, just get better. And for that, you should be rewarded. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give everybody here a 3-month membership to Planet Fitness, which will get you through the end of the school year. Why? Because you should be studying instead of working to pay for health club membership. You can get a black card membership, which is pretty cool because you can bring your family and friends as long as they come with you. Then at the end of the 3 months, it's up to you to take it from there. But I want to at least help you along the way so that you know your hard work was appreciated by a fellow Springbrook player. Coach, you give me the names that we waiting for you, one of the two Silver Spring clubs, White Oak and Silver Spring, and you can get set up. But I want to close with this, one of my favorite poems, and it's called Mother to Son by Langston Hughes. And Langston Hughes is a DC poet, African-American. He was the grandson of slaves. And this is the poem. Well, son, I'll tell you, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. It's had tacks in it, and splitters, and boards torn up, and places with no carpet, on the floor bare. But all the time, I've been climbing on, and reaching landings, and turning corners, and sometimes going in the dark where there ain't been no light. So boy, don't you turn back. Don't you sit down on the steps, because you find it's kind of hard. Don't you fall now, for I still going, honey. I still climbing, and life for me ain't big, no crystal stair. Guys, I wish for you the best in life. I wish for you happiness and success. And I wish for you, when life ain't a crystal stair, that you keep climbing on and turning landings, because life ain't gonna be no crystal stair. Can I have an amen? I know I went a little longer than I was supposed to, but hopefully the membership makes up for it. This point is on the back of gold cards that we give to every one of our staff. The front is self-explanatory. We do it in January of every year to set their goals for the year. Short-term goals, which is 1 year, and then long-term goals, which is 5 years. If you'd like a coffee, there's copies up here, and you may find it helpful. I really am honored to be part of this family, and I hope you feel the same, because if you don't now, one day you will. Amen.
Okay, now, before we bring up Coach Heaton, I want to thank Mr. Brick, because he had done a lot for the Springbrook boys basketball.